Formula One spent years designing the biggest rules reset in its history. Then, after only 3 races, it changed the rules again. The 2026 cars arrived with movable front and rear wings, almost 3 times as much electric power, smaller bodies, narrower tires, sustainable fuel, and a completely new way to overtake. The promise was simple, lighter cars, closer racing, and more responsibility in the driver's hands. But data from Australia, China, and Japan exposed problems serious enough for the FIA, Formula One, the teams, engine manufacturers, and drivers to agree on immediate refinements. They reduced how much energy could be recovered in qualifying, changed when full electrical power could be deployed, limited sudden speed differences, and created a system to rescue cars that launched from the grid with dangerously low power. Imagine replacing the engine, battery, wings, tires, fuel, and controls of an aircraft, then testing the entire package with 22 pilots racing each other. That is roughly what Formula One attempted, except the aircraft also has sponsorship logos and somebody is complaining on team radio. So did Formula One create the future of racing, or did it build a battery management competition that needed repairs after 3 weekends? To answer that, we need to understand why the old cars had become a problem. Over 2 decades, Formula One cars gained around 200 kilograms. Safety structures and hybrid systems made them safer and more efficient, but also longer and heavier. They remained astonishingly fast, yet drivers described them as less agile. Following another car was difficult because its turbulent wake disturbed the airflow needed by the car behind. The 2026 response was called the Nimble Car concept. Wheelbase fell by 200 mm. Overall width dropped by 100 mm. The floor became 100 mm narrower, while minimum weight fell by 32 kilograms to 768 kilograms. The tires became narrower too. Front tires lost 25 mm and rear tires lost 30. Downforce was reduced and drag could fall by as much as 40%. This was not merely a smaller version of the old car. Formula One removed the deep ground effect tunnels that had dominated the previous generation and replaced them with a flatter floor philosophy. The aim was to reduce the turbulent wake and let cars follow more closely. But less drag created another problem. The new hybrid system needed the car to save energy on straights. The solution was to make the wings move. For 15 seasons, Formula One used DRS to help overtaking. If a driver was within 1 second of the car ahead, part of the rear wing opened on selected straights. Less drag meant more speed. In 2026, DRS disappeared. Active aerodynamics replaced it. Now both the front and rear wings can change position. In corner mode, the flaps remain closed to create downforce. In straight mode, they open like a Venetian blind, reducing drag. Unlike DRS, every driver can use active aero at predetermined points, whether attacking, defending, or driving alone. That sounds like free speed, but its primary purpose is energy efficiency. The new engine produces less power from petrol and much more from electricity. Combustion power fell from roughly 550 kilowatts to 400. Electric output jumped from 120 kilowatts to 350, an increase of almost 300%. The car therefore cannot simply spend maximum electrical energy everywhere. It must collect energy under braking while lifting from the throttle at partial power, and sometimes even while the driver is still pressing the accelerator. That last technique is called superclipping. Yes, Formula One found a word that makes slowing down at full throttle sound like a superhero haircut. The battery changes racing because energy saved in one corner can become speed on another straight. A driver who attacks now may become vulnerable later. A driver who looks slow may be charging for a counterattack. Overtake mode replaced DRS as the dedicated passing aid. When a driver is within 1 second of the car ahead, additional electrical energy becomes available. Under the original design, the leading car's electrical deployment tapered after 290 kilometers per hour, while the following car could retain 350 kilowatts up to 337 kilometers per hour. In theory, the speed difference creates an overtaking opportunity. In practice, the system also created an uncomfortable possibility. One car could suddenly possess far more electrical power than another. This is the key difference between old DRS and the new system. DRS changed aerodynamic drag, the 2026 car changes drag, energy collection, battery deployment, and engine output together. What viewers see as two cars racing down a straight may actually be two energy budgets arriving at completely different moments. The FIA wanted more strategy and more overtaking, but if the power difference became too large, the pass could feel artificial. Worse, an unexpected loss of power could create a dangerous closing speed. The first 3 races gave Formula One the evidence it needed. After Australia, China and Japan, Formula One did something unusually revealing. Every major stakeholder agreed to revise the system. In qualifying, the maximum permitted recharge was from 8 megajoules to 7. The aim was to reduce excessive harvesting and produce more consistent flat-out driving. Peak superclip power increased from 250 kilowatts to 350, allowing cars to recover energy for a shorter period instead of spending longer behaving like very expensive generators. For races, full 350 kilowatt electrical deployment remained available in key acceleration and overtaking zones. In other areas, it was limited to 250 kilowatts. Boost was capped to limit sudden performance differences. These were not cosmetic changes. Formula One was tuning how quickly one car could close on another. The most serious issue appeared at race starts. Engineers developed low power start detection for cars accelerating abnormally slowly after the clutch was released. If detected, the system could automatically deploy electrical power to provide a safe minimum acceleration. Flashing lights would warn the cars behind. That tells us how strange the new challenge had become. An FF1 start already combines clutch bite, tire grip reaction time, and 22 cars aiming for the same corner. Now the software also had to make sure a depleted energy system did not leave one of them sitting in the firing line. Wet weather settings changed as well. Intermediate tire blanket temperatures increased to improve initial grip. Maximum electrical deployment was reduced in low grip conditions, and rear light behavior was simplified so following drivers received clearer warnings. It would be easy to call these changes proof that the entire concept failed. That would be too simple. Formula One regulations are engineering boundaries, not a finished car. The FIA defines the box. 11 teams and multiple engine manufacturers search for the fastest interpretation inside it. Simulations can predict airflow and energy use, but they cannot perfectly reproduce 22 drivers reacting to one another in dirty air, rain, traffic, and panic. The rapid corrections reveal both weakness and strength. The original parameters created unwanted behavior, but the sport collected real evidence, involved drivers and engineers, and changed the parameters before preserving a bad system for an entire season. The more important question is what remains after the repair. The 2026 car is still a radical experiment. Its smaller dimensions and reduced weight can help drivers follow. Active Aero lets every car reduce drag on selected straights. Overtake mode creates a tactical weapon instead of the old automatic looking DRS pass. More electrical power rewards teams that understand batteries, software, and energy recovery. But every advantage carries a trade-off. More energy strategy can create intelligent racing, or it can make the fastest driver look slow because the audience cannot see the battery state. Movable wings can improve efficiency, but add another system to understand. Overtake mode can reward planning, but an excessive power difference can turn a battle into a drive-by. The new regulations were also designed to attract manufacturers. Audi entered, Honda returned with Aston Martin, Ford joined Red Bull powertrains, and Cadillac became the first wholly new constructor since Haas. The simplified hybrid system removed the expensive MGU-H, while the much stronger motor generator and sustainable fuel made the technology more relevant to road car companies. That fuel contains no crude oil derived component. Approved sources include captured carbon, municipal waste, and non-food biomass. It is designed as a drop in fuel that could work in existing combustion engines. Although producing it efficiently and at scale remains a much larger challenge than filling 22 racing cars. This is why Formula One accepted so much risk. It was not merely trying to improve overtaking. It wanted lighter cars, new manufacturers, lower fossil dependence, more electrical relevance, and a championship that still looks spectacular at more than 300 kilometers per hour. Did the 2026 rules destroy the racing? No, but the first version exposed how easily energy strategy can overpower racing clarity and safety. Formula One reacted by reducing excessive harvesting, controlling where maximum power appears, and limiting dangerous speed differences. The old Formula One was often described as aerodynamic chess. The 2026 version added a battery to every piece, then discovered some pieces were arriving at the other side of the board much too quickly. The real test is not whether the first rules were perfect. They were not. It is whether smaller cars can follow closely, whether electrical strategy produces genuine battles instead of scripted passes, and whether viewers can understand why one car is suddenly faster than another. Formula One changed everything. After 3 races, it admitted that changing everything also means fixing what the simulations missed. And that may be the most Formula One thing of all: build the future, race it, discover the flaw, and immediately search for another tenth of a second